All right, so my name is Manoj. Anybody want to guess where I'm from? India? Well, I'm originally Indian, so that's close, but I'm not from India. Yes, very good. I come from Malaysia. Okay, so this topic I understand is about entrepreneurship. Now, I think many of you, when we think of the word entrepreneurship, you are actually going to be a business owner. Yeah? So naturally, as a business owner, you not only have to take risk, you must also enjoy the challenge, because without risk and challenge and passion, you cannot convert your business opportunity into profitability. You understand what I mean? So I think my aim today is to share with you some of the basics, okay? The basics on what is required to help make you a good entrepreneur with good financial and accounting sense. Because many entrepreneurs have wonderful ideas, but do not have the other necessary skills to develop and grow their business, because they say, oh, I'm not good with numbers. Now, I have bad news for you. If you don't know numbers, try not to do your own business. You understand what I mean? Because numbers are very important in business. I call it my 3I formula. I is the idea, your business idea. Because everything starts with idea. Yeah, you must have idea, and you must know how to determine what you want to do with the idea. The next is intelligence. Yeah, means what? You need to think. Yeah, idea, everybody has idea. Yeah, but you need to think what you're going to start and how it's going to end. Yeah, because many people, an entrepreneur, they start they call it the end game. Yeah, you must know how. Next one is also I. Money. How much you have to invest. Investment. Soft. Soft means the actual time that you spend doing what? Thinking, planning. Time. Yeah. Hard time is what? I got to buy asset. I got to buy machine. I got to buy equipment. I got to hire people. You know, it costs money. Yeah, that's investment. Now, your investment is 500,000, but your capacity only 100,000. So you're short by how much? 400,000. So you need to know how to find money. Yeah, and that's not very easy. Yeah, because you start with a good idea, you put intelligence into it. You don't know where to get the money from. Okay, now everything is there. Now we come to the last I. What's that? You got the idea, you got the intelligence, you got the investment. What's the last I? Implementation. Yeah, doing what you say and saying what you do. Yeah, saying what you do, very easy. Everybody can say, everybody can talk. Or in Vietnamese, you say, nói nhưng mà không biết làm. Nói là dễ, làm thì khó. So this is the part why many entrepreneurs fail. You know, it's a sad reality. You know, idea, we are all very good with idea. Implementation, because that is the difference between success and failure. Yeah, so I know one thing I realize about Vietnam is everybody aspires to be an entrepreneur. I have never seen a culture that is so enterprising like the Vietnamese. Why do I say that? Because I've lived here for 20 years. You understand what I mean? So I know enough about Vietnam. I know enough about Vietnamese culture. I know enough about Vietnamese people. You are very enterprising. Yeah? You all want to do some business or some side business. You understand what I mean? Everybody is working and also doing some side business. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I 10% right or 80% right? That's my point. Okay, you all are born entrepreneurs, which is very good. So it is very difficult for me to teach you on entrepreneurship because you are already very enterprising. Yeah, you already know what it is to be doing a business, because why do we do a business? Why? Why do we do business? Yeah, to make money. Otherwise, no reason to do business, right? But some of us, maybe the 20%, why is it we don't do business? Yes, we don't want to take any risk. Yeah, we don't want to take any risk. Because investment is what? Investment is one part risk, other part opportunity. Some people do not want to take any risk at all. And you know what? If you don't want to take any risk at all, please don't do any business. Okay? There is no guaranteed success business. But there are many guaranteed to fail business. You understand what I'm trying to say here? So the idea behind entrepreneurship is you must take risks, because where there is risk, there is opportunity. Okay, so today, how many of you actually know about accounting? Can you be honest with me? How many of you actually understand accounting? Many? None? Okay, so I'm going to give you a very simple illustration on accounting, because you as an entrepreneur, you need to know. You need to know how we record transaction. Okay, so I'm going to start with a simple equation. Okay, now this is a simple equation in accounting. Simple equation in accounting, A equal L plus E. Now, accountants anywhere in the world understand this equation. Okay? What it means is A means asset, L means liability, and E means equity. So for an accountant, any transaction, yeah, any volume up is okay. Any transaction has to be either A transaction, L transaction, or E transaction. So accountants believe every transaction will affect one or two of the components so that it will balance. Now, what was the third I just now I told you? Third I was investment. Now, investment to start the business means what? Investment to start the business, owner has to put money into the business. Correct or not? So give me a business. What's your name again? Your name? Chang. Okay, what is your business? Sorry, what is your future plan business?
Yes. My future plans business is the yoga studio.
Yoga studio. How appropriate. Okay, how much you think you need to invest in your yoga studio?
It's around 3 million Vietnam dong.
Okay, 3 million 3 billion. Okay, I was worried. 3 million I want to invest. Okay, 3 billion Vietnam dong. Chang is going to invest. So she's going to build or rent a yoga studio.
Rent.
Okay, so she knows she has to invest 3 billion. But what exactly are you going to invest 3 billion?
Just 1 billion.
Okay.
And try to ask the investment 2 billion.
Okay, so she is going to invest 1 billion and she is going to borrow from somebody else 2 billion. Right?
Yes.
So how do I record this in the business?
1 billion is equity.
Okay, so equity will be 1 billion.
2 billion is liability.
Yes, liability. We call it debt. Is 2 billion. And then your asset, because you're going to spend this money on something, right? What will you spend the money on?
Rent the studio.
Okay.
Hire the teacher.
Okay.
Yes, and advertising some equipment.
Okay, so we have listed out. We have equipment. Let's say let's say equipment is 1 billion. Okay, just example. Okay, we have rental. Rental, we need to have at least a reserve for 500 million. All right, and then we have expenses for the next 12 months is also 1 billion. Okay, and then we have others is 500 million. So we start the business with 3 billion. All right, we start the business with 3 billion, so we call it cash. Right, to start the business, she got 3 billion, so she put it into the bank account, which is asset. She borrowed 2 billion from her investor or her friends or her family or somebody else. We call it liability. Why? Because she owed them the money. And 1 billion is her own money. So when you start a business, you need to know how much money you need. And how much money you need, please put it into a cash or bank account. Of course, Ms. Chang will not keep 3 billion in her bed, under her bed. She will put it in the bank account. So every business starts this way. Sounds very simple, right? She gets 3 billion, she put it into the bank account, first step. Next, she has to start spending the money from her bank account. So she decides to buy equipment, 1 billion, so money will come out of the bank and she will put it as equipment asset. One asset replaced with another asset. Asset cash minus asset equipment plus. Okay? She got the equipment, but before she get the equipment, she need to sign rental contract. Sign rental contract. The owner say, please pay 3 months advance. 3 months, right? So every month, 2,000. So she had to pay maybe 6,000, right? So she has to pay 6,000, which is about 120 million. But she still keep some extra because she don't know how her business is going to perform. So she has collected nearly 6 months. Yeah? Sorry, nearly 1 year rental she keep. Yeah, from investors she keep. So one, she has to pay rental. So cash go down, expense go down. So minus cash, expense is also minus because it reduces your equity. Okay? Then The next thing is she has to spend operating expenses. Again, cash is minus, expense is minus. So I'm going to now show you a simple illustration, okay? And that should give you a good idea about what your accountant actually does. Otherwise, next time you run the business, your accountant may cheat you or fool you and you don't know what. So it's a good way to check. Okay, so we do a simple illustration. Okay, I show you a simple illustration. Everywhere in the world, yeah. Can you hear me? All right. So assets are something that are owned by creditors or owned by the owners. So in case your business goes bad, you need to sell. You need to sell. So maybe Chang, after 2-3 years, business not so good, she need to sell her asset because she need to pay back people she borrowed money from. Normal, right? You need to sell to get the money to pay back who you borrowed money from. So this one here is the underlying framework. So you must know what is assets. So asset basically is anything a business owns. Anything a business owns, we call it asset. Anything that the business owes is called liabilities or equity. So I'm going to come back to this board here. Own. And this too is owe. Own is what I have. Owe is to who I have to pay the money back to in the future. So at the end of the day, what you own must always equal what you owe. Liability is external. People on the outside that you have to pay money back to. Equity is usually internal. That means the owner. What you have to pay back to the owner. Okay, so this is what we call assets. And some examples are listed there. Then we have liabilities. Liabilities is people who have a claim on my asset. We call them creditors, or we call them lender, or we call them supplier. Yeah, they have a claim because they're giving you something and you owe them money. So we call them creditors. Okay, and then these are some examples of what a creditor would be called. And then the balance will always be equity. So if I know A equal L plus E, A minus L must also equal E by logic. Yeah, if A equal L plus E, A minus L must also equal to E. Now E is slightly complicated because E has got 4 branches. It's got the investment by the owner to start the business. The drawing is the money taken out, the revenue from the business, and the expense. Investment is plus, revenue is plus, drawing is money go out, expense is money go out. So every business operates the same way. When owner put money into the business, your E will go up because I go up. If owner take money out of the business, it's the opposite of I. Money go out, cash go out. Revenue is what revenue you make from the business. You sell. Anything you sell will increase your E. And anything you spend, your expense, will reduce your E. So this is a very simple framework to understand the accounting equation. So you have a basic equation and you have an expanded equation. So this part here, everything on the E side is expanded. Everything here is basic. So we show you a basic equation and a expanded equation on this slide. So increase in equity means you have more investment into the business or you have more revenue or sales in the business. Increase. Decrease will be because you take money out or you have expenses in the business. So we need to know what the effect is on your E. Rental expense will decrease because it's an expense. Service revenue is a revenue, it will increase because it's plus. Drawing is drawing and it's minus, is a decrease, expense is the same. All right, so you must know the effect those items have on your equity. That means what is the balance that the owner will own. So when the business is selling very well, your equity goes up. When your business has a lot of expenses, your equity goes down. So we now show you how to do it through transactions. Okay, so we start with this business. I put 15,000 cash into the business. So I put it into a cash account and I increase my owner's capital or my investment. Does it balance or not? Balance, right? Both sides are the same. Investment. The next thing I do, I decide to buy equipment for 7,000 cash. How much cash do I have now? 15. But from the 15, I minus cash 7 and I plus equipment 7,000. Again, the equation is balance. Clear? Then I have to buy some supplies which are worth 1,600 because I need to do some business. So I need to buy some supplies. So again, my cash will go down. My cash will go down by 1,600. And my supply, oh, sorry, I take that back. I bought supplies, but I didn't pay cash yet because the supplier say, you take first, you pay me later. So I increase my supplies by 1,600. At the same time, I increase my liability. Why? Because I owe somebody some money. Yeah, so again, plus, both sides will balance, the same. All right, then I go to the next one. I receive 1,200 cash from my customer. So how do I record this? Okay, so how do I record it? Plus where? Nope. No. Look at it. It says, I receive 1,200 cash. I I received 1,200 cash, so my cash is plus and my revenue is plus. I received cash, nothing to do with account receivable. Understand? Sorry, your name, please? Quinn. You understand this? Okay. And your name, please? Your name? Chang. Chang 1, Chang 2. You are? Okay. So you guys understand this? Anybody does not understand this? So when I receive cash, cash will be plus, revenue will be plus. All right, let's try the next one. Read the transaction at the top. Minus cash, but I didn't pay any cash. Anybody? Minus supplies and minus expense. Very good. Plus account payable minus expense. Why is it plus account payable? Because I didn't pay. I have to pay somebody. I need to pay somebody. I owe somebody some money. Miss Haik, you understand? Chang number 2. Okay. Now you understand? All right. Miss Quinn, you understand? Miss Hua? All right. Name, please. Van, you understand? Name, please. Bo, understand? Name? An, you understand? All right. So you see, we balanced it. Right now, next one. Okay. I receive I perform service for 3,500, but my customer only paid me 1,500. So I have cash, I received 1,500. They still have to pay me 2,000. So I call it accounts receivable. And I record sale of 3,500. Clear or not clear? All right, the girl behind Miss Chang, Chang number 2, your name, please. Oh, Chang number 3, very good. We got 3 Changs in the class. Your name? Yan. You understand, Yan? Chang number 3? Mr. Vo? Understand? Mr. An? Sven? Miss Quinn? Okay, good, very good. So as you can see, after every transaction, it will always balance. All right, let's try the next one. She should be disqualified. She's an accountant. My God, of course she should know that. We exclude you from this. Did you say your name is Yan, Mr. Yan? How do you spell it? Okay, what's the transaction? How do I record this transaction? Debit expense and credit cash. Yeah, but how do I show it on this? Are you an accountant as well? Okay. All right, sorry. How many of you here are not from an accounting or finance background? Okay, so at least I'm speaking to the majority. So the minorities, so minority, please just bear with me, okay? I know this might be very easy for you. So in this transaction here, I have paid, yeah? So because I have paid, I know my cash is going to go down. So cash will be minus. What did I pay? I paid expenses. So minus cash and minus all the expenses. Chunk number 3. Good. Miss Hua? Miss Vân? Name, please. Tuan. T. You understand? And the gentleman behind? And you, miss? Why? Okay. So whenever you see the word cash, you know cash receive is plus, cash payment is minus. That's very easy. The question is trying to match the other side. All right, what about this one? Now we have transaction number 8, which is related to transaction number 5. Please hike. You want to try? Good. Miss plus and supplier, not so. Miss Vân, you want to try? Very good. Minus cash, minus account payable. Why is it minus? Because I already pay them. I don't have to pay them anymore. I'm paying them now, so I will take it out. You understand? All right? All right, we do the next one. Plus cash plus revenue, no. Plus cash is right. Very good. Plus cash and minus account receivable. Why minus? Because from this 2,000, I'm now collecting 600. Yeah? So I need to minus from here and I receive the cash, so it's plus. Clear, not clear? Is that one? All right, last one. Very good. Minus cash and minus drawings. So if you tabulate all this, they should balance at the bottom. Now, a normal company will not just have 10 transactions. Yeah? But the good thing is we do this on the computer. Yeah? So in the computer, your accountant, like Miss Chang here, and Mr. You're also accountant. What your accountant actually is doing is he is entering a transaction into the system, but the system is not plus or minus. The system is debit and credit. So now look at what I have written here. Whenever we see the asset account is usually debit. Liability account is usually credit. Equity account, the investment is credit account. Drawing is a debit account. Revenue is a credit account. Expense is a debit account. So now let's look at how to explain this transaction as debit and credit. Okay, so we look at the first transaction. The business started with investment of 15,000. So what does the accountant do? He will go and debit cash account 15,000 and credit capital 15. Let's jump. Let's go to transaction number 6. How will your accountant record this transaction? How will your accountant record transaction number 6? Mr. Wung, do you know how the accountant will record this transaction? Yeah, sorry, your name, please? Your name? My name is Okay, how do I record this? Very good. You will record it as debit cash 1,500, debit account receivable 2,000, and credit revenue 3,500. All right. So the point I'm trying to make here is what I wrote down here is the normal balance. The normal balance of an asset account is always debit. So how do I show asset going down? Asset going down is always credit, the opposite. Liability going down is debit. Let's check whether I'm right or wrong. When I pay cash, cash is my asset. When I pay cash, my cash is going down. So minus cash means credit cash. You see that? Now, when I pay my liability, I debit my liability account. Decrease in my liability is debit. So what am I telling you? All these debit and credit rules, every accountant must know. So if you still are not sure, don't ask me. Just ask Chang number 1. Yeah, she's accountant. She should be able to help you. Okay, so this is how accountants process data. You know something else? Nowadays, we do not need accountants anymore. Why do I say that? Because we are using computerized accounting system. Now, the system is smart enough to tell you whether you record the transaction correctly or not. You understand what I mean? So this is what everybody is moving into. I give you a simple example. You all go shopping, right? You all go to Co-op Mart. What do? You buy the goods, you stand in the counter to make payment. Clear or not? So every item you buy has got a barcode label. Correct or not? What do you think the barcode label is doing? They scan. The moment the counter scan, automatically sale is recorded. What happens after the sale? I collect the cash. Cash is recorded. Do I need accountant? I don't need accountant, but I need somebody to check. So what is to check? Check that the barcode label is correct. Because sometimes you make barcode label mistake. Item actually cost $20, but system show $2. Label mistake. So whoever is preparing the label must be very careful. But we are moving into an era of automation. Automation means machine will do your work. Yeah, so in the future, all these accounting activities will be done automatically. But you are going to be a boss. You must know. Yeah, you must know something. Yeah, because smart staff, stupid boss, business will be in trouble. Agreed? We need to have smart boss and smart staff. Only then the business can be successful. So that is why you are studying MBA. Otherwise, you don't need to be here. You know, you have better things to do. Yeah, so please remember this very important aspect. Many entrepreneurs have very good idea, lot of money to invest, but failure in implementation. Yeah, because they don't know how to manage money, like most entrepreneurs I have come across in my 20 years in Vietnam. They just don't know how to manage money. Yeah, so end up they use the customer's money or they use the supplier's money and run their business, and they think tomorrow will come. Suddenly tomorrow comes, they don't have money. You see what I mean? Because they just fail to plan, or they plan to fail. Yeah, so you got to be very careful about these things. All right, so what you need to understand is each transaction may affect all the three components or at least two. Yeah, such that the equation is in balance. So if you have learned something, you should be able to do this exercise and then we can move on. A simple practice. A simple practice of these 5 transactions. Yes, hi. Where do you work? What is your job? You, Miss Chan, what do you do? Tobacco? Vietnamese company. Tabak. And you, Mr. Zhang? At, okay, English Center. Is that ILA or I can read. Okay. And you, Miss Hua? You're NGO, right? Oh, really? So what are you going to do now? Okay. Education. What education is this? Okay. You do it yourself or you do it with some partners? Okay. Very good. From Nha Trang, right? All right, we're gonna get this done in about 2 minutes, huh? So you can go through the answer. Right. All right, let's go through the 5 transactions. Okay, so the first transaction is he invested 25,000 in the business. So your cash will be plus, your capital will be plus. Then you spend 7,000 or you bought equipment for 7,000 on credit. On credit means you didn't pay cash, means you owe him money. So it's account payable. You debit your equipment and you credit your account payable. Then you have 8,000 you receive in exchange for services performed. So you will debit your cash and you will credit your revenue. Then you will have some expenses. You paid $850 for this month's rent. So you credit your cash and debit your expenses. And finally, you took out, or the owner withdrew 1,000 for personal use. That means cash minus and drawing is minus. So if you tally it up, it should balance. There's a mistake here. This should be minus. It's not plus. Okay, just take note. It should be minus, and this is also minus. So if you add it all up, they should balance at the bottom. All right, if they balance at the transaction level, they will always balance at the level of the total. Why? Because it's how it is. So every accounting system is actually designed this way. It's just accountants like to use their own language. That language is called debit and credit. So don't let them confuse you anymore. Yeah, stick to the basic rule. If it's an asset account, it will have a debit balance. If an asset account is reducing, it will be a credit to the asset account. And if you remember the rule for asset, liability is just the exact opposite. You do the opposite of asset. Similarly, if you know revenue, expense is the exact opposite. If you know capital, drawing is the exact opposite. So you should be able to remember the basic accounting equation and the basic recording of the transaction. Now, why is it important to know the recording of the transaction? Because if you do not record the transaction correctly, when your accountant gives you the report, you don't know how to ask intelligent questions. You understand what I mean? So to be a smart boss means you can ask intelligent questions. You use your intelligence to start the business. Please use your intelligence when you are running the business as well. So many times the boss suddenly lose control of the recording and reporting. Just going out there, doing, assuming everything is going well when it's not. You understand what I mean? So you need to have your hand on the pulse of the business. You must know what is going on. Because if you don't know what is going on, there's already a red flag. Something is going wrong. Yeah, so you have to remind your staff you are always in control. Because once they start to control you, then you are in trouble. And they say in English, don't trouble trouble unless trouble troubles you. So you want to be an entrepreneur, please do not neglect accounting. Now somebody says accounting and finance, what is the difference? What is the difference, accounting and finance? Yes. Very good. That's the perfect answer. Accounting is recording of past transaction. For what? For compliance and tax. Right? And tax and internal. Vietnamese always have 2 books. At least 2 books. Why? Internal book and external book. Why? It's very simply chon thuế. You understand? So which one is more? Internal or external? Of course, internal will be more. Why am I telling you this? You want to run a business, please do like everybody else. Otherwise, you cannot compete. You understand what I mean? So businessman, 50% illegal, 50% legal. Cannot be 100% legal. You understand what I mean? So you need to understand how to manage your books. So don't let the accountant manage you. You must know how to manage your own books. Because if your books are wrong, who get into trouble? You or your accountant? Or both? Yes, under Vietnamese law, they both get into trouble. So if you decide to manage your books, manage them wisely. Yeah, because don't assume somebody else is stupid. I didn't tell you my background. I am CFO for 15 years for many big companies in Vietnam. So I know everything about Vietnamese enterprise law and Vietnamese tax law and Vietnamese tax officer. You understand what I mean? I know how this system works. You are running your own business. Please make sure you know this. Yeah. Many a time, the boss just lose control and just depend on the accountant to take care of the accounting. Don't even bother to look at the reporting. Now that is a big problem. Yeah. So you want to be a good entrepreneur, develop the system to read the report at the end of every month. Yeah. Don't say this is your job. You just go and do what you have to do. And of course, look at your bank account. Yeah. You must manage your bank account. So because your bank account will tell you about the health of your company. You understand? So many a time, businesses fail not because the business is bad. The businesses fail because the owner is actually stupid. Good business, but owner very stupid. Don't know how to manage and monitor the business. So when you are running a business, you need to manage many things. One, you need to manage the financing, yeah, in and out. Two, you need to know how to manage your customer and the relationship. Three, you must need to know how to manage your supplier and your bank. And fourth, you must know how to manage the government. You understand what I mean? Not công nghệ, quan hệ. Yeah, it's who you know, not what you know sometimes. So these are very important for entrepreneurs actually. I see many business owners fail because they are engineer or very good in marketing and very good in sales, but không có kiến thức, don't understand accounting, don't understand finance, but you should not have that problem. You are studying MBA program. You are supposed to develop your knowledge and skill sets in this area to help you make yourself better entrepreneur. So don't listen to anybody why accounting and finance is not important. It's extremely important. Because most of the time, when you analyze, one of the reasons they fail is because of finance and accounting reasons. You understand what I mean? Or their lack of knowledge in finance and accounting. They leave everything to their staff, assume everything is hunky-dory, and they get into trouble. So please, it is a very useful reminder and just sharing with you why it is important to keep track of what your staff are doing and be able to ask them the right questions. Now, I have a simple request to you. I have a flight to catch at 6 p.m., but I've already done my online check-in. So can I suggest we break for lunch at 11:30, but we must start at 1 p.m. so that we can finish by 4:30 p.m. So what we have started is just basically telling you the introduction to investment and how accounting transactions are recorded. Please don't have too heavy a lunch. When you come back after lunch, we will go through investment and some aspects of investment which are closely tied in to what entrepreneurs really need to know. You understand what I mean? So please come back after lunch and don't have too heavy lunch. Okay? Have a reasonably light lunch so that it's easy after lunch. I'm here to take some questions before the break. Yeah. Extremely, very good. If I am the boss, I will keep a very close eye on the cash and bank account. Yeah, I must know what is going in and what is going out. Every day, every hour, every month. You cannot say, "Oh, what is this?" You must know. Yeah, you got to keep the bank account like it's yours. You must know everything that is coming in and everything that is going out. Second thing, you must know who you have to collect money from and who you have to pay. Second important thing. Third thing, you must make sure your business is making a profit. Yeah. How do you know that? How do you know your business is making a profit? Ask your accountant, give me the báo cáo kết quả kinh doanh. I want to see. Yeah, is it a profit or is it a loss? Yeah, it's very important. You need to know. So how do you manage your business? Make sure you know every transaction in the bank account, in the cash account. Make sure you know who you owe money at the end of the month and who you have to collect money from. Then you can be CFO and I'll be out of a job. Sorry, are you running your own business right now? You look like somebody who's running your own business. Okay, so what is it that you do, Mr. Tuat? Okay. Okay. So what is the reason you study MBA program? The GM. Okay, so please, you are well on your journey to becoming a good GM. Every GM has to know the bank account. Yeah, you have to know every day what's coming in, what is going out. Because once you start to know, nobody can play the fool with you. Because you're checking very, 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 very carefully. Yeah, so nothing can slip through the cracks. You know exactly what's going on. So if I know your bank account, if I know your income statement and I know the account payable and account receivable, it means I am in control. Don't surrender the control to somebody else. You must always be in control. Yeah, not your staff control you because they have information. Don't allow that. You always have information control. Okay, I notice many Vietnamese entrepreneurs, they think, oh, reporting is just for tax only, you know, let's not waste our time looking at it. And that is a problem. If you say your reporting is just for the government, I think you're opening up yourself to a big problem. The next intelligent question you should ask your accountant is, hey, my profit is too high. How to make it less? No, you might laugh. Why? Why is it important to know that? You need to know how to save your tax, right? Now, many people in Vietnam, they go and spend all the money, end of the year, they're trying to buy hoa đơn đỏ. trying to buy red invoice. Why you think they're doing that? Sorry, Chan, can you answer this question?
Yes. Normally, the business, the company run the business, and they have some. They need to pay some expenses, but actually, is cannot collect the invoice or for some money they lose invoice or something like this. Or some expenses have the restriction from the government, for example, advertising, something like this, and we need to find the invoice from another expensive to balance, because sometimes it's not cheating, it just try to control the profit.
So you want advice, please meet Ms. Chang, okay? But basically what she said is very correct. You must understand when the tax office check your book, they want to make sure all the expense you have proper supporting document, which is what? Sometimes Vietnamese supplier don't want to give you invoice. Why? Why they don't want to give you invoice? Yes, they don't want to record the sale. They want to put the money in the pocket so they don't need to pay tax. Because when I sell, I must pay VAT. You understand? So sale, I can check very easily. Pay VAT or don't pay VAT. So cash sale, no VAT. Fund transfer to the bank account, I cannot tell the government, sorry, I didn't receive this money. It's already in the bank account. So this is how they manage. They do cash transaction. Yeah, it's because of cash transaction, they can have 2 books. Yeah, but luckily I am not the auditor checking, because if I check, I already know what is the difference between the 2 books. But I am not tax officer. Tax officer like a situation when there are 2 books. Why? Yes, I have cơ hội vàng. Golden opportunity. You understand what I mean? So I'm sorry, I think I'm very Vietnamese, because I have been through this process before, and you need to understand this. And many foreigners, when they come to this country, they don't understand. Why? Because in my country, when I pay expense, I don't need Hoa Đơn Đỏ. I just need an invoice, and I can use that to record. But in Vietnam, it's not so. So they go and spend money here, there, they get any invoice, give the accountant, take the money out. End of the day, the accountant says, boss, all these expense, the tax office don't allow. Tax office don't allow. My expense take out, profit go higher, company pay more tax. You understand what I mean? So many foreigners sometimes very stupid. They think foreign country the same like Vietnam. It's not. Vietnam has a very efficient tax system, but very poor tax collection. System is very good. Quốc tế, tiêu chuẩn quốc tế, but collection is very weak. You know why? Collection and enforcement is very weak because many tax officers, Anchia, you can deal. This is a problem. Yeah, many business do not report the true position, the true profit. So this is why you need to understand this if you're going to do your own business, because you are ultimately responsible, especially if you are general director. Please, yeah, you can get into trouble. Yeah, if you are trying to, if they catch you and you don't manage your relationship well, you get into trouble. So is the chief accountant. So end of the year or before the end of the year, sit down with your accountant, make sure, hey, all these expenses, you have all the correct paperwork or not. Don't wait on 25th or end of the year. You do your report the next year, too late. You cannot get your invoice after the year is closed. So you cannot go and buy invoice in January for your November expense. the textbook already closed. So this is a big problem. So smart boss, smart accountant, they start planning in August. August, September, October, they are looking to make sure all their expenses are legal. All right? So we will continue being legal after lunch. Don't eat too much. Please come back 1 o'clock. All right? Thanks. Sorry, does anybody have any other question? No answer. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay, for one, if I am going to do business in Vietnam, I am a foreigner. Okay, so I cannot afford to have a business with two books. You know what I mean? Yes. I will have to do business with one book. But if I'm a smart foreigner, what should I do? Yeah. 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 Yeah, this should be minus. This should be minus. I said it's a mistake. It should be minus. Yeah, it should be minus. It's a printing mistake. So to answer you, if I'm a smart foreigner, I will do business together with Vietnamese. Because the Vietnamese can deal with the government side better than the foreigner can. For one. For two, if I am going to do business, because I am an accountant, because I am a CFO, I will be very, very careful how I want to manipulate my records. And believe you and me, not always that easy, but the idea is how to minimize tax. We have the Vietnamese way, I have my own way. So if you want the Vietnamese way, this chart will give you advice. If you want the foreigner way, I will give you advice. See what I mean? But both will give you a good solution, which is what? How to minimize your tax. Okay? How to legally minimize your tax. Now, your next question was the law itself. I don't see anything wrong with the Vietnamese law. I think I see a lot of problem with the enforcement. Yeah? Enforcement is depending on relationship. Everything is based on relationship. So I have this expression, Vietnam, every problem there is solution. In other words, there is no problem. Where there is problem, there is opportunity. You understand me? Everybody, the government is looking for you to have a problem. Because only when you have a problem, I have opportunity. You understand what I'm trying to tell you here? It is not Vietnam only. Most of the Asian countries are exactly like this. I come from Malaysia. We are expert. Expert in what? Corruption. We are number one in the world. Anyway, we'll see you guys after lunch. Kuala Lumpur. Yes, I'm from KL. Yeah. Next year, you're going there? Okay, very good. How many of you have been? Okay, good. You lived there for a few years. Where did you live? Around Valley. Okay, you're working for Newton? Valley is near Bangsa. About 20 kilometers away. Malaysia has good transport. We have LRT systems. Any other questions on Malaysia? All right, so we meet again at 1 o'clock, okay? Yeah. Yeah, special, the Vietnamese government investors what they call incentives. Now, if you invest a lot of money in a priority project, in a project of national importance, to encourage you to invest, I tell you, you come to Vietnam, you invest so much, I give you 10-year tax holiday. Tax holiday. Sometimes they say, I don't give you 10-year, but for the first 4 years, we pay 0%. The next, the first 4 years you pay 0%. The next 6 years you pay 50%. After that, normal rate. So your business is high profit in the early year. I can make a lot of profit and I can save a lot of tax. And so now the government says, I tax you based on how much you keep back more and reinvest, give you better tax. Okay, I don't want you to take the money out. Yeah, so this is to do with tax incentive. But when you are operating, in your tax holiday period, they will still review your expenses to make sure they are allowable expenses. Yeah, so if it's not, you will have to pay tax on that portion which is not now. This is what you don't understand. So you need to understand tax incentive is designed to encourage foreign investment. Yeah? To attract foreign investment, I need to give you tax incentives. Yeah? So the Vietnamese tax incentive usually is the first 4 years is 0%. The next few years is 50% the normal rate. Then maybe after 10 years we pay the normal rate. Actually, no, it's competitive. Now it's about 20%. I'm told they're going to bring it down. They're going to bring it down because they realize most companies are not paying corporate tax, but many are already paying VAT. So it's okay, it's balanced. And many are already paying PIT. So VAT, PIT is helping the government to collect money. If you rely on CIT, then you'll be waiting a long time because everybody is trying to. CIT is not very effective. Yeah, PIT also not effective. Because I signed 2 contracts. In the contract, my salary is so much, but the boss give me cash, which is outside. So because of that, PIT collection also is not the true number. So these are some things that it's a bit here. Everybody is declaring honestly, I think you can have a wonderful place to live. So now the government have more money than the government. That is the way it is. Whereas in other countries, both the government and the officer are doing well. And in Singapore, zero corruption. Singapore is one of the rare countries in the world with no corruption. And government, they're very efficient, right? Because government employee pay just like private sector. Same salary level, same benefit structure, so they have a system which, even the policeman, you don't need your money. You earn a very good salary. You don't need to take your money. Yeah? This is the difference. So hopefully Vietnam will get there. Maybe your children's time, not your time. Any other question? Right, right. So how long did you live in Malaysia?
2 years.
2 years. Wow, and you live in
Yeah. Stay in my office in Vietnam. So I stay at the condo.
Okay, Limban. That's a nice area. So you must have stayed near the city town.
I stay in Scotland.